Hello, everybody, and welcome to Heathen Cantina Presents Legends of the Old Kingdoms, Season 2, Episode 14. And glad to see that that's what it says there on the screen. I'm Asmo Daniker. This is my amazing crew. Most of them we're down in Azadem. Get well soon. We miss you. And,
I thought you were going to say most of us were amazing,
well,
but not all of us.
wow.
We're all amazing.
that-
Most of us are here. The most amazing, consistent MVP of the night, sadly, is unable to join
It's
us.
gonna be
Yeah,
We are
yeah,
there.
we're fucked.
it's gonna be just fine.
Hush 'em, we're not fucked.
Lately I
Hey.
have been doing something when we're down a player or two in my home game, my online games. I'm not altering the encounters anymore. I'm okay with that. It's resulted in
Thanks.
some yeah, you're welcome. Challenge rating kind of falls apart at y'all's level anyway. Let's be real.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
You took on.
He's just calling us amazing players.
I am. The only thing that in any way that your amazingness is diminished is in your hit points. So, we're going to go around. Everybody's going to introduce themselves, say who you are, say where you can be found if you wish to be, and tell us who you're playing, and then tell us some wounds. Tell us how your character suffered last session as part of the recap. How's that sound? We'll start. We'll start with with Sandy for that look on your face. Perfect. Tell us what we won. Oh, and then of course at the end, pick your victim.
Eldine is at full hit points, so hasn't suffered in that respect. Hello, everyone. I am Sandy Pants. I can be found nowhere I do not wish to be found, but I will be portraying Eldine, our Goblin Hexblade Warlock, who, probably burning the candle at both ends. Time is running short as all these big players from higher and lower planes are shoving pieces around. What did she suffer last session?
You had some really cool spells going. That Cloud of Daggers was really sweet.
Yeah,
that may have been the coolest display of Cloud of Daggers I've ever seen, because
that was very
I've
nice.
seen a lot of people take it at low level and then not really cast it again once they.
I haven't.
You know what I'm saying? But it scales up
in
nice.
a couple levels. It scales very nicely. It scales well. There was some jealousy, right? Eldine was. Some of her compatriots had also mowed down a whole clique of goblins, and so that was very nice, right?
If you recall, Eldine did that exact thing herself. There was a whole crew of goblins on that left side.
Right. Well,
there,
so
and
she had
to
come up. She had to come up with that shatter after everybody else. But no, dealing with this dire troll and the nasty faces coming out, and just grossness that could have been way worse. It breaks my heart to see Teller and Merkala so grievously wounded, while she's out here doing pretty okay considering. Nervous to see what's behind all this. Who's the power behind this? Because these mofos aren't just out here on a walkabout. They're not out here just trying to knock over some farmers with a wagon. That's not what this is.
No, they're looking for us.
Big shenanigans. And with that, I'm gonna kick it over to Nick. What you got?
Hi, I'm Nick, or Unichronic, or Uni. I'm playing Merkala Bloodfang, the party's Dampier Noble Drake Warden Ranger. Wow, that was a mouthful. Last session, being up front, fighting the troll toe to toe. Merkala did take some pretty pretty terrible wounds. I believe I got to like I got pretty low. I got pretty low, but thankfully my natural ability to bite and then also heal from that a little bit
Yeah.
was nice. Also,
You are what you
the
eat.
fact, yeah, the troll imparted some of its regenerative
Oh,
properties
I forgot
to
about
me.
that.
That dire troll. Mercala's probably still looking a little green, a little she-hulky, if you will. But so she's still below half hit points. And her draconic companion is winked out of existence. So it was a pretty costly battle for Mercala. Teller, I choose
Uh,
you.
it was also a costly battle for Teller, although not nearly so as for Miracala. Hey y'all, I'm Arthur. I play Teller, Whispers Bard, wandering storyteller, planar tiefling, and kind of along with Eldine and Empty Pockets, kind of we've become the administrative structure of the Bloodsong Knights for Miracala. Yeah, and
Management.
yeah, I
I think
know.
it's really weird
That's
that you
kind of
just
true,
give
though.
any sort of
Yeah.
responsibility.
The Empty Pockets is like sitting at a desk. Anyway,
Can you
and
tell us
from
about a
that we
time
have
you had to murder 3 people in 6 seconds?
Mercala doesn't
Silently.
employ
And I
empty so
recite a
much.
poem.
Mercala doesn't employ empty so much as she employs Nilo.
True. Yeah. True.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. And tactically, Empty Pockets is very important to the progress of the whole thing. So, but from the Bloodsong Knights, we do have along a couple of retainers, which is who really proved their mettle last time. Crodan the Wolf and Beezelwood, both of them were in the mix. Beezelwood especially was up there, twisted up with Eldine right up next to that dire troll for a while, and managed to keep his head down and not get taken out while throwing some good hits. So that was fantastic. Teller caught blows immediately from that dire troll when it came up out of the water, and it hit hard. It took 2/3 of Teller's hit points with I think 3 attacks, and only 2 of them hit.
I was like,
anyway.
yeah, only 2 of those connected, but yeah, it was
2, yeah. So it was intense. But more painfully is that this was a trap set for us, that we thought we were out here hunting, and in fact we were being hunted, which does not sit well. That's too close for comfort, especially when it's Malagar, our old school big bad, who keeps showing up, and has been experimenting on trolls and all kinds of things, and now here is his weapon of choice, shooting at us. So problematic. Things are getting darker and
Yeah,
darker.
Green Dragon's forces teamed up with a lich. It's horrible. It's horrifying.
Yep.
felt kind of
Exactly
personal,
right.
didn't it?
It really did. Yep. So yeah, that's what I got to say. Since Azadem is not here, I think Kelton, you're last, huh?
Why am I always fucking last?
Bring it home.
So I'm Kelton. You can find me places as Fesnerax. Good luck spelling either of those names. So I'm playing Empty Pockets. Empty Pockets is a creepy rogue character who is an elf murderer guy. That's what we're gonna call him. Anyway, yeah, this is really rough. This is really, really, really rough. I think, Arthur, you summed up what's going on perfectly. I will say, I will take this opportunity to say that MT is a little bit like this world that we live in is a little bit flexible, and he's ready to be like, yeah, I think I can move to other planes and other things, and he's thinking about things on like a whole different way than he used to. So I'm excited to see where all of this goes. And yeah, it's awesome.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you.
I would choose a victim, but
No, this is
sadly, our wizard is absent.
this is great, and it illustrated that for the first time it looked bleak. Maybe the first time in a long time, not the
Yeah.
first time ever, but it was one really nasty, heavy hitting monster. And true to form, the party punched way above its weight class, and proved my point about challenge rating kind of breaks down around level 8 to 10.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying some of these fights might come down to luck, might get kind of swingy, and I'm
This
just
one did.
yeah.
You got
That's
4 rolls.
your
Your dice were
favorite way to
cold.
play.
My dice were pretty cold. They weren't ice cold, but I wasn't. I dropped no crits, and I think the party dropped like 6.
Yeah.
We
You got
had
a
a
lot of
few, yeah.
misses.
Yeah,
You got a
your
lot of
dice were
misses.
pretty
Yep.
cold.
Yeah.
Yep.
For real.
I've had colder nights, but they weren't keeping anybody warm for the winter. I am looking forward to this. So, as Beezawood hops down from the tree he just climbed and says, I smell iron on the air. There's a fire over there, like a forge. And with that, Crodan turns and goes, Hey, but it's been put out. We should go check it out. And he's holding the other end of a bandage with his teeth as he ties off a wound. He's like, Anybody else? How you doing? Let me check you.
Well, yeah, we need to do a little healing real quick.
Yeah.
If we're not going to take a proper rest, we need to for sure do a healing.
Yeah, let's do
we
it.
should have a short
Let's
rest.
do a shorty. We could get by on that most likely.
Yep. Teller's going to go ahead and prepare a quick meal
Okay.
and tell a rejuvenating story, a bawdy tale of the shenanigans of the nobility of Dampier
Okay.
getting up to no good on their pornographic couches.
Just like home.
Shout out Edward Gorey.
Yes,
Nice.
yeah. Merkala immediately spends a first level ranger spell slot re-summoning Dusk. This time his draconic essence is attuned to acid. So when he kind of just appears out of that like primal mist, he his purple scales have a alchemical iridescence to them now.
Nice.
Okay. I like that.
Me too.
The
So
Go ahead.
oh
Cool.
sorry. I was just gonna say Teller's Song of Rest, anyone who spends hit dice gets another D6 along with it. We are deep in a hit points hole though, those of us that are hurt.
Crodan is going to go around with a poultice that he's making, and that will allow any hit dice as he bandages all of your wounds with this poultice. And he appears to have made it upstream from the troll out of the mud, and some herbs that Beetlewood pulled out of the trees for him. It's very piney and tarry, and you can tell that it's antiseptic, so it'll prevent infection, and it'll also make any hit dice that you roll treat 1s as 2s on your hit dice. So
Okay, sweet. I'm about to roll some.
While we're taking this moment to recuperate and regroup, Eldine steps up on a tree stump or some such and uses that inspiring leader feat to give a wee speech. Y'all, these things are scary, but we got this. They're coming for our families. They're coming for our people. We ain't here to stand for that. Let's rally. Let's get this in us. Let's take care of them. And with that, everybody gets, let's see, 6 friendly creatures within 30 feet. Gain 10 hit points equal to my level plus charisma modifier.
Oh, hell yeah, nice.
Right, temporary, but they'll do.
temporary hit points rock.
Let's see, what does that come to?
Tom, if you could also pop another 2 hit points on me for that Song of Rest. and I think another one for Miracala.
I already took
Unless-
care of it.
Oh, I didn't realize we could handle it ourselves.
Should be able to. Yep.
25. Oh, heck yeah.
You want to do 24 though? You said 2. You only gave yourself back 1 more.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, and that one from Eldine is, or from Miracala, that the poultice affects that. What was the poultice effect? Treats one says two?
Yeah, any 1 rolled on hit dice for the short rest you take, you treat 1s as 2s.
Okay.
And then I presume Teller's over here with the rest of the group. So everybody gets right. Oh,
Yeah.
6. 1, 2.
Yeah.
Whoever's hurt. There's not 6 of us. 11, I think. 8 plus 3. 10 hit points for
Awesome.
those.
Hell yeah.
11. Cool. That's always good.
Yeah.
Little buff where we can buff.
Yeah.
Beezewood pulls out a flask and says, I actually won this from Crodan. Playing Cups a couple nights ago. You know, Cups is it's a variation of Liar's Dice, but it's only 3 dice, and one's a different color than the other 2, and you put them down and you call them out. It's called Cups because you cover it with a cup. A lot of times it's also a drinking game, and it's popular amongst the mercenaries in your employ.
Nice.
And
Is it a potion of healing?
it is a dwarven potion of healing.
Oh. That's awesome.
Does that mean your healing is a little bit shorter, stouter?
Wow.
What is a dwarven potion of healing?
Hairier.
I literally don't know.
It's slightly better than the entry level. It's not just 2d4, you know.
Oh, okay.
But it's also intoxicating because it's like a
There it is.
substrate of healing
There it
herbs
is.
suspended in whiskey.
Ah,
So you get a little buzz, and your beard is like plaited.
And with
Perfect.
that, Crodan's like, not call it a little buzz, but hopefully you're not wounded enough to get faced. Give me a pull off that.
So I ended up spending 5 hit dice and a cure wounds, but now I'm at max hit points.
Good plan. Good plan.
nice. I'm gonna drink a potion of healing as well.
Did you get those
course.
11 temp on Teller, Beaselwood, and Crodan?
I took care of mine.
There's no
yeah.
limit to how many people you can do that to, is there? It's a
6.
oh, okay. Well, that's the party, and that's when you
Right.
start to look around for Flix, and you see Flix is coming back from having flown above the trees, and then goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry,"
So
and fades away, summoned back to the capital.
She got a short leash on him.
Does too.
Yeah, and as a dem, I love you, but Empty's like, again, little insectably, again.
Always disappearing, says empty pockets. I
No
love that
one-
I love
no
that
one
he
hears that.
complains about that.
No one hears that.
Yeah.
No one even knows where he is. Is he here? We assume.
So everybody's got 11 temporary hit points, basically. Awesome.
Thank you.
Correct.
And
Yeah,
I'm up
shows
to...
up on the sheet.
Awesome. Updating
6.
combat tracker. Very happy. So yeah, nice work on the dire
Okay.
troll. It looks like it did
Yeah.
its work on you as well.
Now, if I remember correctly, the forge was what we were actually seeking.
Yes.
The Hobgoblin's Forge to Despoter.
Well,
Yeah.
you don't know that it's a shrine like that.
It's an odd coincidence if a fucking forge shows up and we just learned it is Despoter, and here we are.
Dr. Dis.
Especially when
I
Maladar
like
and the
to
Green
say
Dragon
Dr.
both
Dis.
show up. Like, fishy,
Dr. Dis sucks.
fishy.
It's like Dr. Detroit.
Dr. Demento.
Well, I could animate some fish heads if you like. But what do y'all do? It looks like your new squad fell into patching each other up and are definitely pulling their weight. I like that just from the Kobold Press material, they feel like fully formed characters. All I had to do was name them and give them a little bit of sprinkle flavor.
Mhm.
Sweet. Okay. I think we can say that they're friendly to the party, not not neutral anymore. All
I
right.
think that was for your own bookkeeping, so you could tell who you had to drive.
And I'll probably switch it back during a fight just as a visual marker. All right. What do y'all do? It's an hour later. You still have this uncomfortable feeling that you're being watched from the trees. But when you look up through the trees, the feeling changes. It's not from the trees. It's from the space above the trees. As you look at the sky where it peaks through the break in the higher canopy, this being a 3-tiered forest, you feel that it's viewing you from the clouds from above.
I mean, Empty's going to climb all the way up as high as he possibly can, and scope out this area as much as he can. So, whatever checks you want me to make.
Okay. Well, you see the path
You
that
got an elf in a tree.
you see the path that Beezlewood took. Beezlewood is, not maybe not as adept at climbing a tree, but a little bit lighter. And you try to mimic their path, but erring on the side of one heavier limb that allows you to shimmy up the top of a blue pine. And sure enough, you see what looks to be the fading smoke of a really hot smelting fire. You don't see the forge itself, but you're certain that somebody was definitely, and you can smell it on the air too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's out now. That's not a fast process, so it must have been a bit ago.
Go ahead, and I'm going to see if we can send you a perception check. If not, I'll need you to do it the old-fashioned way.
Okay, let me know.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah, go ahead and hit me with a DC 16 perception check if you wouldn't mind. Got this.
Oh, I have no idea how to make the DC, but
Oh, you don't. I just said it out loud.
oh wait, shit. Do I grab the number or I grab the number, right? Yeah.
Or double click it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, it was a 20 and then it was a 2.
Oh, story of my life. Did you watch the arc last week? That happened like 3 times to us.
Yeah.
It was like, ooh,
Part of why we love and hate Fantasy Grounds sometimes, because it just feels too
You know what?
fucking real.
The dice physics
it's
make
so
you want
good.
to
It's
bump
so
your
good.
desk so that you'll bump the table. Scandalous.
I burned an inspiration and I got a 12.
I noticed.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, so MG like climbs up into the tree and he's like, "Oh, this is the most comfortable I've been. I used to sleep on rooftops all the time. I'm just gonna look some of this cellophane and yeah." Notices nothing, I imagine.
Are you taking the time to light up while you're up there? It's been a couple
Sure,
days.
why not? Let's go there.
Okay. All right. Crodan's. It's taking a long time. The fire's out and they're probably on their way. But if we're fast, we could maybe catch wind of their wagons. They won't be pulled by oxen or ponies.
Croden is still down with the main group, right?
Uh-huh.
Mirkal is a skillful tracker.
And can walk up trees.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Let's hunt these fuckers down.
All right. We don't have to worry about if the party's at canopy level, mid-level, or ground level. I kind of remember where we did that before. Because the clearing that you're going for is a fresher clearing in that this was part of the forest, and the scar that it now is upon the land is quite easy to find. After just a couple hours, you can see where the clear cutting began, as the hobgoblins cleared out a few acres of trees, and judging by the ash,
Fuel for the forge.
they burned everything to fuel the forge. Now, where they had the iron, you don't know. You don't see a mine here, but there's plenty of hillocks, and there's a lot of iron to be found, of course. It having certain properties, depending on forging techniques against the Fae. It's an old battleground. The hobgoblins and the Fae have been fighting in these woods for centuries, millennia. The elves were a more recent addition in the hobgoblins' eyes. You see where the camp was. It looks like a palisade fort had been erected. You can still see the massive post holes in the soil, but all of the wood was pried up as they were finishing their run of forging. And you notice numerous structures for supporting numerous bellows, but anything that wasn't stone is gone. They burned everything, made all the weapons, and left.
And destroyed any evidence of what they made or anything.
And there's no wheels leading up to this camp, a point that Crodan would point out. But there's wheels leaving the camp. So they built the wagons. And looking at the amount of trees they cut, they didn't burn all the trees, or did they? Hit me with some nature checks. I'm looking for somewhere in the key of G. No, somewhere in the neighborhood of 15. Nature or warfare or
Warfare.
any like now like
Survival.
and any
What game are we playing?
well no I meant like if you had
Roll 2 ones and a
Roll
4.
your warfare check.
well no if you have soldier background or something applicable, I would allow just like an intelligence check is what I meant. Like
Oh,
something based on your background.
I snatched the 22.
I noticed. It's good. You're the only one that succeeded, I think.
LD see shit.
Yeah. Yep, those are trees. And that's where trees used to be. What are we doing here? Oh, Merkala, your hair has come undone. You should correct that. Your token has changed. I want to share the other screen so folks can see what I'm talking about. Actually, they can't. I don't want to throw your laundry in the street for everybody to see. Teller, you heard tell of people cutting down these types of trees. These are perfect for making siege engines. Judging by the size and the fact that you know this isn't the only camp, the hobgoblins are, all the warbands are uniting into an army with some coordination, and they're all heading towards the capital. You're not sure how many. That's where the survival check comes in. If anybody wants to try that,
that's where
Man.
I'm.
If
Yeah.
only Flix had stuck around for like 20 more minutes.
That's good. That's good.
He would have had something to tell the
Good.
queen.
Yes, I know. And maybe we can work that
Yeah.
into the queen is impatient.
I missed that survival check.
That's okay. This time,
I got an
empty
18 on
Merkala
it.
gotcha.
Nice.
Yeah,
The-
got a 20.
There's thousands.
We fucking told you. Even the
Hobgoblins.
DM was like, there's not that many. I'm like, oh yeah, I think it's a fucking army. I fucking told you.
You're not sure how many thousands. It's but it's any is too many. Not just small war bands. There's some coordination to this, and they are moving in a pattern of predation. There's towns and villages in the woods between here and there. This little tiny tributary stream was what they set this all up with, and they didn't dam anything. They didn't need to have that large a structure for that long, but they were able to build, judging by the scour marks, they deepened the stream here and used a wheel. So they had a water wheel, perhaps for grinding, who knows, maybe just for lumber processing. But this is coordinated.
And they left an ambush for us with a bad dire troll trap.
And
They've already gone. They had to be already gone by the time we showed up.
you feel like you're less than a day behind them.
That's it.
Real close.
Mircalla sees it too, right?
Uh-huh. And you're only 3 to 4 days from the capital.
I'm just gonna
did I get the
just
impression that
flavor this.
Crodan? Oh, sorry.
No, go.
Did I get the impression that Crodan was from around the Wolfwood?
He's a Calarian dwarf, yeah.
Okay.
You're not sure that he's from here in his childhood, but he's long in the tooth. He's not a young dwarf.
Yeah. So she immediately, upon realizing that there must be thousands, I'm sure Mircalla is probably near empty since they were taking similar routes through scouting. They probably share a glance, and then she turns and calls back to Crodan. What lies between here and the capital? Villages, hamlets. What's the closest? There's
Crossroads, any of that, yeah.
at least 1,000 on the move.
We're not in the path of the thousands. We're in the path of still too many, but they haven't all joined up. They'll join up about 2 days from here, I think, at the bluff. There's an old town called Brambleoak. It was an elven fort hundreds of years ago. Now it's a settlement of a few hundred people. I was there 3 years ago. Selling beaver pelts. It was steady money.
Gotta go there.
And all the beavers died. Poisoned. Spite. By the Green Death. We should warn them. They're in danger. We'll have to get ahead.
It is on the way to the capital as well, where we already want to be heading.
How fast can you move?
I can move pretty fucking fast.
Gonna need to outrun them.
But I'm going right there.
Dusk is nearly as fast as a horse.
Empty is going to react like so much more strongly about a small town that he doesn't give a shit about the capital. Right? Like, he doesn't even get it.
I turned to
He doesn't even
Beaselwood.
understand it.
You seem
But-
small and quick, Beaselwood. How quickly and discreetly can you get back to Rockter?
That is correct.
Discreetly? Among the best. Quickly? It'll take a week. Faster if I catch a wharf once I hit the river.
It's more useful here.
I could go south. Look
Yeah,
up-
I feel I'll need his talent. I'll need your talents here. It seems.
Yeah. What should happen is we should do a little sending spell to learn Torment.
Right. Somebody use your fucking magic to like get in their brains or whatever. Get it over with.
Yep. Hobgoblin Warband, thousands, on the march to the capital. Rally the forces northeast Wolfwood, probably, because they're heading towards the capital, right, Tom?
Yeah,
They're-
you got
they're-
it.
Would people in
Migrating,
Rockter
so-
know where Brambleoak is? Or not really?
Somebody there would, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, heading to Bramble Oak on
Because
our
I
way
think
to
we
the
need to
capital.
tell
Yeah,
the mayor of Rockter as well. I mean, the head of the city should probably know what's going on not too far from
yep,
them.
yep, yep. Inform Rockter Constabulary.
Especially since they're probably not the biggest fans of us.
Well, you had some fans there, but overall,
Not the constabulary.
No, but we could make friends by providing him
Right.
information.
That
100%.
exactly. Along with
Inform.
General
what was his
do-goodery
name?
also
General
Let me see.
nice
Do-goodery.
with the
Let me
police.
see if I can earn an
Do-goodery
inspiration.
outranks doing nice with the police. Just saying. In my mind. And Eldine's mind.
I forgot that you had the magical capabilities to do that. So even better.
Growing up.
That is pretty
He
handy.
picked it up because we had not had that historically.
I learned it from watching you. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Auntie, it's your fault. Grandmother, you did this.
I can't find his name. Oh, here it is. Barris.
Mm-hmm.
Barris Rothflute. Rothflute? Rothfluta?
Rothflut.
Rothflut, captain of the guard. There. Give specific instructions to inform him. Yeah.
That's perfect. So that's who you're sending the spell to?
Lantorna.
Is this
Lantorna.
You said a sending spell.
Yeah, let me see here. I think it's 25 words, and I was trying to make it telegram.
Are we talking
size.
about message or?
You send a short message of 25 words or less to a creature with which you are familiar. The creature hears the message in its mind, recognizes you as the sender if it knows you, and can answer in a like manner immediately. This spell enables creatures with intelligence scores of at least 1 to understand the meaning of your message. You can send it across any distance, and even to other planes of existence. But if the target is on a different plane than you, there is a 5% chance that the message doesn't arrive.
Okay.
So Lantorna Caius is the one. She's the she's the local contact for our whole organization. So
okay, awesome.
Yeah,
you're familiar enough with the lay of the land, and you've seen the maps. You've seen the map you're now seeing. With Crodan's help too, you'll realize the path. They're not going to march an army through the marsh. West of Sorsha is kind of a wetland, and it's not a place to take 1,000 hobgoblins with wheeled equipment that are looking to siege the capital. If they built siege towers and catapults and, let's face it, trebuchet galore, they're going to go a different route. So they're probably going to take that highland stretch over the letter K on the map, right? And would you look at that? The town of Bramble Oak is at the point of the K, at the center of those 3 hexes of dense forest, lighter forest, and hilly forest. So you know your path. You know the path they'll take. Also, it affords them the best opportunity to catch the capital off their guard. Because if they went to the road, the town of Mabe would be able to send advance word. But if they go through the grasslands, basically let the letter A point the way to the capital once they clear those hills, then it's could be brutal. But you can get to the town of Bramble Oak ahead of them.
Oh. Second sending spell. Same message. Blix Dazzle Dove.
Hold
in the
that thought.
presence of the queen.
Hold that thought. I want to ask about the first one you send first, because you said the 25 words.
Yeah, ish. Yeah, telegram style.
They get to reply.
Hobgoblin army, stop. Thousands on the march.
They get
stop.
to reply.
Capital in danger, stop.
The reply is, we have I believe the last instructions were to send some cadre to Riverport to let them know of what was happening in Rockter, and now you're. So how many do we have parked in Rockter? It's a few hundred, wasn't it? I think
I
you're
thought it was the majority of the force.
yeah, but the
You said we had 1,100 soldiers.
1,100 was the total, but 100 were
Right.
just sent to Riverport.
Riverport.
Correct,
And
yep.
you'll want to leave a small contingent to maintain presence and order here. So
100%.
So you could probably
Yeah.
move 700-800 quickly.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yep.
That sounds right.
There is a small delay. It is not an immediate reply. If you want to cast the second one first, that's fine. But it's usually customary to wait until they reply. And
Then we'll wait. No, that's
Okay.
etiquette. Yep.
and
Transmission received is what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, I guess we probably covered this during the short rest. Pulled out the map if we
Mm-hmm.
have one on hand of the area, and I would use Crodan's expertise and Beaselwood's.
Oh my God. Crodan 100% drew a map in the dirt with a
Yeah.
stick of the wolf
Oh,
wood
for sure.
Yep.
right
Mhm.
here, where the low forest and the high forest and the highlands meet.
Because so our best bet at protecting the city would be having them take the road right out of Rocktor up and over to Sorsha and come down into the grasslands.
they could move through the Veldt and try to flank the army.
Yeah, that's what I was also thinking, because I was thinking if they could get a boat. I don't have any boats with me, but if they could get a boat on the Vanya River, they could go over to Bori and come up to flank, or be the ass end of attack or defense on Bramble Oak. Like the force that
That
they
is
didn't know
all
was coming.
upstream, though.
Yeah,
isn't
that
it?
would
That's
be
all
that would be upstream.
Okay, so
There are teams
mind.
that pull barges upstream with the aid of horses on the land, but that's not
that's expensive.
it's not uninterrupted between Bori
Yeah.
and Rockter either. They're called horse ferries. And they're necessary for some of the stronger
The
current.
Veldt would be pretty easy travel though, compared to like the Wolfswood itself.
This time of year, yes, because it is autumn and the grass is browning, and it is not standing up and not as it's easier to cut. In fact, there's wildfires that go through it, natural and otherwise. It's just not quiet. You're not sneaking up on anybody going through the Veldt. Everybody's going to hear the sound of the grass. And if it's a few hundred people, some folks are going to know. Now, if you want to, go to Mira, Folis, Grish, and like into the swamp, the road kind of avoids the swamp and is engineered enough to allow commerce between Sorsha and Riverport. So which is quicker? It's tough to say. A small force can move faster through the Veldt, but a few hundred mercenaries might be better served by a road.
Yeah, probably the road north and move towards Sorsha for now, right?
To support the capital's forces would be their ultimate goal,
Right.
and hopefully they can get there in time. Yeah, that's probably
Because
correct.
even if we die in this lousy forest, we will have at least protected Sorsha, or
Right.
tried.
And we try to interfere with the warband in whatever way we can to probably slow them down.
Okay. The reply that comes back is taking a cohort of 800 north through the townships en route to capital. Send update tomorrow if you can. A wizard has joined us. I'll tell him to study that.
Nice. Good job, Lauren Torna.
So-
Yeah, she's great.
So you picked up a wizard in your cohort.
Lovely.
Yeah, some 16-year-old
Wizards like money too.
some 16-year-old kid like I was supposed to finish school here. I came from Teldestrano. I've got all these scrolls. I know that spell. Yes, I can do that. Wow, we're really going. Hobgoblins, you say? Whew. Okay. I'm gonna need to prepare mage armor too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Lovely.
All right.
Okay, good.
So you've got some help a few days away.
Right. Well, that's
Quite a few,
important.
like a
This
week
is all
away.
moving slow.
Mhm.
Yeah. Flix Dazzledove, who should now be in the capital.
Correct.
Very similar message.
Okay.
Sorry, I got into a little rabbit hole in my brain about magical protections around the Queen's berry.
It's so funny you should
around the
say that,
Queen's
because I
cup.
was going to say, as soon as you
But-
start to send the spell, you
Yeah.
feel that it's spooling out, it'll reach the and it's pushed back,
Yeah.
and you have lost that spell slot.
Oh, son of a bitch.
You feel that it expended and nothing happened.
Yeah. He's cut off.
In the old days, you could do that with a thin sheet of lead. You could block all sorts of spells with lead.
I'm sure we gave him enough to report on for the time being.
Oh yeah.
True. Yeah. After that battle, he had.
I mean,
a lot.
you were-
He's smart.
I believe the
He's a
party was
smart
actually
operator.
yeah, and the party had already figured out that it was a hobgoblin army.
Yeah, and that Malagar was involved. Yeah, all that stuff.
And Malagar may have gifted an ambitious dragon who's looking to expand their domain,
Mhm.
cross the Veldt and into the Wolfwood, or maybe relocate. Who knows what dragon?
Okay.
What are dragons up
Is
to?
there any other large-scale preparation we can do, or is it time to try to get to Brambleoak?
It's time to try to get to Brambleoak, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. Some of us are faster than others of us. Should we split the party?
Into mobile and less mobile factions.
Yeah.
Yeah, a forward guard and then the
Yeah, the quick response team to get them alerted and maybe start some
Eldine's
setup or
bringing up the
something.
rear. Her
Same.
old ass ain't,
Teller is
ain't
too.
shuffling
Yeah,
up.
he ain't fast. These
Yeah.
hooves ain't as fast as they used to be.
My hooves.
Yeah, Merkala and Empty. I mean, I'm not stealthy, so I'm sure Empty will stay far enough away where I don't bungle his attempts. But we'll take the with the mobile crew. I'm gonna send Dusk up into the air.
Beazlewood
Keep
isn't.
watch.
Beazlewood is a
Smart.
little slower than you think. Like he's
Mhm.
he's not super fast. Crodan's actually faster, especially in
Faster?
wilderness. Crodan's totally a ranger
Okay.
barbarian build.
Then the three of y'all and the three of us should stay back. And we'll get ourselves there and keep our heads down and try to get through this without getting caught out.
All right.
And you guys get there as fast as you can.
What's up, Kelton? You're muted. Might be hardware.
It's hardware muted. I fully support this. Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's going to be dicey for just another minute, and then I'm back.
Speaking of dicey,
According to Crodan, what is the estimated travel time to Brambleoak
a
from
day.
where we are?
A day
1 day.
Yep.
For them or for us?
for the fast team. 1 day on
Okay.
foot.
So we're day and a half, 2 days for
Yep,
us?
day and a half.
Okay. Okay. So there's going to be hopefully a long rest in here somewhere.
And the
Wonderful.
last scouts that put out the fire and finished up probably aren't the bulk of the forces, so they are probably 12 hours ahead of you. But it's probably still a large enough band to give
be slowed down.
and to give a town like Brambleoak a really hard time.
Because I can move at 40 even through the trees, and Dusk can fly at 40. So
That's awesome. Yeah, Crodan can move at I believe 35. And yeah, doesn't have the ability yet. Maybe Crodan will level up with you. Doesn't yet have the ability to like share fast movement with everybody. Some rangers can move through special favored terrain faster with crew.
Nice.
Not there yet.
Guide ability. That's cool.
So the advanced scouts are Mirkala, Empty, and Crodan. And Teller, Eldine, and Beazlewood are staying back.
That is correct.
All right.
I let them know that they will know if we run into trouble.
Okay. All right. All right, y'all. Let me have some perception checks from you. And if you wouldn't mind, drop them in the tower.
Oh, drop him in the tower.
Yeah. Drag them over into the tower.
Yeah. I got
Secret
that shit.
style. Secret.
There's so much shit going on. Sorry.
It's okay.
One moment.
Yeah, everybody.
I'm using one screen instead of like 3. So
I'm gonna go ahead and spend a luck point to roll it at advantage.
And I used my inspiration to roll it at advantage.
I don't know what I'm rolling, but it's important.
Yeah.
I didn't, but I just trust my shadowy instincts.
Y'all saw that. Oh my goodness. Holy smokes. Tell her you found this bit of fluff wedged in with your own fur, and it's not navel gazing, but it may as well have been. I gotta tell you, you rolled 2 ones.
Oh my god.
I have not seen that before.
I was like, where's this going?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
double
nowhere.
critical fail
Yeah.
is where it's going. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty spicy. Empty, of course, coming in clutch on some of the rolls there. That's good.
Oh, can Dusk take one from the sky?
Hell yeah. Yeah, that sounds great.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I think I roll. You should be able to. Here, you can. No, you can't. Give him to you.
Okay.
Let's get rid of his unconscious and prone, because I'm sure that'll hurt his chances.
Yes.
And maybe stop targeting Beazlewood. He's taking it personally.
Let's
Oh, you
see.
named that little fella.
Oh,
Fuck you.
he is just the D20 plus 2. So
Hey. And that 20 is going to tell you more. It's worth digging it out. For Pippin. Okay, nice. There's a rustle in the trees about a half mile ahead. It's not so much a clearing as it's a stream that affords you a more lateral look deeper in the forest. One of the places where the stream keeps the trees from growing, so you've got a longer line of sight. And the rustle at first gives you cause for concern, like, all right, everybody, let's get ready for a fight. But then you hear some voices. They're not shouts. They're not angry shouts, I should say. They are yelling. Come on, get a move on. Come on, we're moving. Everybody up. No time to stay. And you come across what looks to be a small work site. The smell greets you now that you're close enough. The stream was pulling the smell away from you, but you've come around to where you can actually smell. It's a strongly pissy smell. This is a tanning operation, and it's humans, dwarves, couple elves, a larger portion of halflings. About half the people here are halflings, and it's about 15 total. And they're gathering up their supplies. No, don't take that. We gotta keep moving. And I'm gonna say, are you taking precautions to hide yourselves? Because they just look to be some nearby villagers. You could startle them, is what I'm saying, or you could just reveal yourselves.
Empty Pockets is startling when he reveals himself.
Yes.
I think
Empty is considering. I think like before we do this, Empty to Mercala. I think he's gonna be like, "What's the play here? I can do anything. What's your move?"
Crodan.
I want to see where. Oh yeah.
Crodan is
hi.
slowly climbing down from a tree silently, and he's like, "Tatters."
I want to see what they know and where they're from. I'm assuming probably Bramble Oak, but so if you want to make yourself scarce, I'm going to make my presence known.
I'll walk up with you. I serve you after all. Lady. And he flourishes with his axe.
You serve well, but you don't have to call me milady. Mercala will suit me just fine.
As much as I want to go with them, and put on a persona or whatever.
Oh,
Not
no,
gonna do that. I'm gonna skulk around and
there's a great benefit to you staying in the back, able to.
Yeah.
To
Now, are they in a bit of a clearing, or
Yep,
are
yep.
they still okay.
little turn in the stream that they've set up shop to operate. Looks like mostly deer hides, but some boar hides as well.
And I'll emerge from the tree line. I'll have my shield on, but no weapon in hand. I'll walk with it, up to show that I mean no harm.
Hey, well, they're not hobgoblins. Hey, we're bugging out. There's hobgoblins about on the march, and bugbears. Oh, and a bugbear. My friend Weevil here, he's an expert tracker. It's an enthusiastic halfling introducing himself. While his brother goes, I'm doing all the work here, is wringing out some piss.
A slight smile crosses her lips, and she says, "And dire trolls."
See? It just gets worse and worse. We should absolutely go to Bramble Oak. We can hole up there. It's not a fort anymore. It hasn't been a fort for a long time. But it could be. It could be. Well, it's a few hundred people there. There's an old ballista. The ballista. Really, again with the ballista. Hasn't worked in years. My great-grandfather was launched out of it and lived. It was a show they used to put on.
Inspiration to the DM.
Right? Inspiration. Former fort, you say? A ballista. This is all very interesting news to me. Unfortunately, Bramble Oak seems to be right in the hobgoblins' path. We were headed there to warn them.
Well, then there's no time to waste. This way, we got ponies.
Dusk comes down from the sky. With that.
They are not for eating.
lands next to Mercala.
One of the ponies is taking an ill-timed dump. They can keep up with you, is what I'm saying. It's just not stealthy anymore. But the small band, you come across another village an hour later, and again, people are packing up, and it looks like there's a few trails of people heading
towards
Bramble Oak. Yeah. It's the nearest town. I mean, there's a few villages and hamlets throughout.
And people know that since it used to be a fortress, it's probably one of the safer. Yeah.
And since Calarians tend to be a lot of demi-human folk and fairy folk, they tend to have a longer scale of memory. And what they are told as legend, they think is probably still true in some part. As you hear the sounds of a settlement, you realize you can either go back and get the rest of the party. You can continue to make friendly here. The town is not going to be hard for the rest of the party to find. You can find it. That's not the problem. But I'm just asking the scout party, are you going to continue on? Because it looks like they're meeting up with other people, and there's dozens of people going there now.
Staying with them would potentially slow us down a bit, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
They did have to stop and water the ponies twice in the afternoon so far.
I think that I'll ask Crodan's fast and he's capable. I'm going to ask Crodan to stay with the Tanners.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And of course, if you should run into Teller, Eldine, and Beaselwood, briefed them of what we've found out thus far. Empty and I are gonna continue on to be Bramble Oak, and we will travel all night if we have to. I think. Are you cool with that,
Right.
Empty? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. You're temporarily out of the immediacy of the danger, but the true danger is yet to reveal itself. For a warband has gone around the bend and met up with another, and people are reporting in that there's a sizable contingent of goblin folk, or bugbears, hobgoblins, goblins, and wargs. The
Gross.
Yeah, the goblins are on wargs, and they are setting up camp a few hours from Bramble Oak, possibly to keep an eye on it, possibly waiting for the rest of the squad. But you're not sure if they're going to march on Bramble Oak if they have that large a force. The party is rejoined. At some time in the night, Beaselwood and Eldine um, and Teller make their way to Bramble Oak. And it's at this point that I will describe the township for you and ask you afterwards what your plans are, because you have some options. So it's obvious that it was an old elf fort. It's on a small flat-topped hillock that gives about an 80-foot height over the surrounding clearing. The clearing is half mile on either side. So it's at the center of a 1 mile space in the forest where there are numerous small streams, farms. The fort aspect of it becomes visible as you realize there's 2 remaining palisade walls that have been kept up, and 2 that have sort of fallen by the wayside and not had their logs replaced, are not really intact, but could be. There's, with this elevation, you can tell that you can see the shape of the fort, but what gives it more of its name is on the 2 gradual slopes up. There's a zigzagging switchback trail to get into the town, but on the gradual slopes up, there are in fact thorny brambles growing all down that. So they are a deterrent for an invading force to try to get to the walls and siege that way. It does limit them and force anybody coming up this hillock to take the double switchback road, and that's what faces the 2 remaining palisade walls. That being said, around the flank is a more gradual slope, more interrupted. It would slow down an army just because of its topography, but it doesn't have any brambles that would discourage them from using it. And that is where the walls do not face. In town, yes, there is, behind one of the palisades, a busted old, and I mean centuries old, ballista. It's like going to a Revolutionary War fort and seeing the old cannons and it's inert. It's in the shape of a ballista, but it would take a lot of work. You do have some options. You could send a scout force at night to go get eyes on this camp that's just a few hours away from the town, and see how big they are, and maybe try to gauge what their intentions are. Are they building siege equipment? Are they deploying siege towers? Is Bramble Oak in their sights? You could do that. You could evacuate the town. It's ordinarily a town of about 500-600 people, and now it is swelled to 1,000 as people from the surrounding villages and hamlets have poured into it. Like many times in cities of increasing size, now in a small town, you find yourselves with a lot of eyes on you. A lot of people are looking to the capable squad that has emerged from the forest. What do you do? You could train a militia. You could start to make spears for them. You could repair the ballista.
How far away is the attacking force?
3 hours.
Yeah, real close. That's not enough time to train the militia.
Well, might be enough time to equip them, but they're 3 hours. They're not in motion. They're camped 3 hours away. So it might be.
We
you
don't
know,
have time to train a militia, but we might have time to muster anyone with military experience or fighting experience.
Well, I'm willing to come out of retirement. It has been so many years since I was a soldier in the service of the Queen, but Hedgepeth is duty bound to serve the throne of Sorsha, Queen of Caleria. Long may she reign. Long may she reign.
I want to be there so bad. Empty gonna sneak.
Empty going sneak. So you have Hedgepeth,
I think
who's a old human soldier. You have Camber. Camber's a tanner who's pretty quick with a knife. I could get in and do some knife work and sneak about, cut them at the ankle. So one of the tanners. You've got a few people that know how to fight. There's some town guards, but we're talking about maybe 24.
yes, not enough people.
This could be a defensible location, but it needs some work to get into that condition. And evacuating 1,000 people through rough country to try to get them to the capital probably is going to slow
They'll
them
be
down.
sitting ducks.
They'll be
They'd
sitting
ducks
yep.
for a flyby dragon attack, for instance, or
Yeah.
I'm going to give you inspiration for that because I'm a
Fly by
right
Dragon Bark
bastard,
for sure.
and your decisions are important, and you know that, and you indicated
so-
you know that.
it needs work to be a defensible location. I have a wild idea, but I have a couple wild ideas. This is probably from Merkala's. She's a noble, but maybe history and from the fact that she served in the Bazorian Navy.
Yes.
Maybe we don't need it to be defensible from the outside. Maybe we can, I don't know, trick them. Maybe we can lure them into the walls and, I don't know, into one of the central buildings and set it on fire. I mean, something wild is one idea. Second, it's the old elven fortress.
Trojan wall trick.
Yeah, it's an old elven fortress. They were a magical folk. Maybe send Eldine and Teller to investigate to see if there's any old magic around.
That's just been overlooked. Protections or something. Yeah.
Is the other thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if the trap thing is a terrible idea. I mean, it could potentially damage this.
That kind of dovetails with an idea I had. There was a wide open surrounding fields and streams. We could flood them, flood the whole surrounding area, flood the roads, flood everything. Make it harder to get siege engines through the half a mile of murky autumnal farmland. Yeah.
And it's good visibility. Nobody's going to break from the forest.
I wish
and
Empty was around when you were fielding this idea.
Is he not? Everybody's in town, aren't
Yeah.
we?
Yeah, we've all assembled in town at this point.
Oh, okay. So we scouted ahead. We came back. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So, sorry, I was wondering about dealing with real life.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So we are all
You are
together,
present.
Empty.
Yep.
So please give your input actually on any of the things that Merkala or Teller are suggesting.
Empty is 100% down. Flood it. Make it weird.
We could
Make
always
it weird.
pull the sluice gates.
Right.
Will that flood the fields? Yeah. Is the harvest all in? It's autumn already.
We've already.
I mean, it's a poor area. It'll wipe them out. Yeah.
Are
they loaded with supplies? Like, if we get put under siege and have to fend them off, like, will we be supplied?
A pale half-elf woman with one silver eye and one green eye looks at you and says, "We've already had a frost here. Anything left out there is for the Fae. Not wise to harvest after the frost." And as you're walking about, Oh wait, hold up. As you're walking about and getting a lay of the place, a lay of the land, Eldine, you walk by a smithy, and a pony is being reshoed, and there's a few jokes about should we put some heavier, stouter? Should we put some steel on here, make you a war pony? And the joke is really received by a chuckle, but you're aware that being this close to a smithy, from the forge and from the warmth of the forge and the warmth you feel on your flank over your left shoulder, you're a familiar now voice. I say familiar, but in this relationship, it's really that you're the familiar. What you need here is steel. I could bring it to you. The whole town clad in breastplates, falchions. Say it, and it is yours. A gift.
I mentioned this to my party members.
Okay.
It's tempting. It's very tempting.
Your devilish sugar daddy's offering us arms and armor.
He is. He is.
Riveting
Yeah, I don't know
mail
exactly
to
how that
protect the
works,
soft bodies of the children in that town.
Y'all,
Oh,
this
God.
can't be good.
Don't you
but-
fucking do it. Don't you fucking do it.
Okay.
Just wanted to
Okay.
You
make
don't
sure you
need
knew
that.
what was on the table.
You don't need that.
Wait. All right. You still think we got this? All right. He's getting chatty.
You'll fucking murder you.
Don't let the devil use you.
What
Well,
are the
murder-
terms? Is what
He
Mercala
gonna
wants
murder
to
me
know.
either way.
Fuck the
Y'all, I done
terms.
sold myself
Fuck the
years
terms.
ago.
There's no terms with devils.
I mean, y'all,
Fuck
I'm
this.
done already.
You know who does do terms, though? Faye.
Right, I could talk to you about that for days, but... Oh,
They're
right.
couple of points of order. DM dropped some clue sprinkles about the forge of the hobgoblins. In that, iron is quite useful in their ongoing conflict against the Fae. We've just had an insight by our witchy half-elven two-color-eyed woman. That anything left
Dahlia.
after the frost is Dahlia. That anything left after the frost is for the Fae, which might just be myth, but they might be about. And Teller might also have a personal familial connection to a member of the Fae who's not real happy with him right now.
No, you should totally hang out in a place where they might show up again.
Yeah, but also her kingdom is under threat. Like, if she is a Fae of the Wolfwood, then there is a decent chance this whole Florishora's Hobgoblin army is not in league with her, is actively threatening her kingdom.
I am going to let my cat out because I'm being extorted. It starts with meowing and the tugging. After that, breakable things start hitting the deck, so excuse me.
Many of us
Do
have
it, do it, do it.
familiars, we understand.
Is Teller like saying these things out loud?
I mean, I feel like he is conversationally, like he's relaying
He's kind
a
of
story
he's always
somebody
doing that.
told him. Yeah, he talks a lot. That is the truth.
Yeah, his name is
And
Teller.
empty his pockets, especially witness
So
Teller.
you think we should
coming
try
up
to
on that.
fortify this place, flood the farmlands around it?
Correct. Maybe
and
take the
fortify
fallen down
it.
Yeah.
palisade walls,
Okay.
the fallen palisade wall, and fortify that exposed, gentle
Yeah.
approach up. Use the pillars and the stakes and all the stuff
Mercala's very strong, so she can work on a lot of that stuff. I mean, she could probably lift some of these walls.
Yeah. So I think fortify and try to seek whatever forms of assistance we can.
Okay.
Because this is just a bunch of trappers and tanners and
Craftsfolk.
I still want to see if there's a thread of old magic here, and if we
Oh,
can
yeah,
figure out
yeah.
a way to use it to our.
Correct.
Yeah. I
Let's go
want
detect
empties to
magic
be a
on
part
little
of that. I'm
curious
not
walk around
super
the town here.
good at it.
No, that's
but
all right.
empty
Tell it
is
can
not
help.
just empty.
Empty is spooky enough, yeah. So let's do a little magical investigation. If only we had a fucking wizard in the spot.
You're gonna have to settle for a ranger and a cleric and 2
I know.
warlocks,
I'm gonna
bard,
ask.
and a bard.
Yeah.
Get well as a dem. Take care of yourself.
I'm gonna ask on this check, DM. It is established that Empty has been smoking the Sylphane. And he's
It
on
is
the
known.
edge. He is on the edge. Can I get some spooky bullshit going on here and make a check for like Nilo or something of that nature? That is what the body of Empty / Nilo is trying to do.
You wander the perimeter. You've got a little time before they reach the sluice gates to pull them. You're going to be fortifying the town as a group. Pulling the sluice gates is going to make all of Bramble Oak kind of a Mont and Bailey castle in the middle of a moat.
An island. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the imagery I'm getting here, and that works. That absolutely works.
For real.
So you've got a little bit of time, and also you're part of a couple of, like, you walking the perimeter makes sense in the local custom and what everybody else is doing. Basically making sure everybody knows, hey, we're flooding the valley. Let's fall back to Bramble Oak. Make sure that there's no stragglers, no trappers that are out there. You do see that about 100 yards ahead, another. You remain unseen, but another in the scouting party, search party, Harangon, rabbit folk, is startled and hops in line to head back to the town, going with a Hedgepeth soldier. You've got Camber, Talus, Credana, Dahlia, who you met. Mortelli is the halfling skinner who's good with a knife. And you got some time to yourself as you wander about in a buzz, in a daze. And you too have this sense that you're not alone. You've caught sight of yourself reflected in polished glass of the nicer parts of Riverport. Startled yourself with, oh yeah, that's me. That's us. Hello. Occasionally at the height of your intoxication, or is it the depths of your disassociation with the prime material,
Yes.
you would wave out of sequence and then look and see you judge yourself and wonder which side of the display case you were on. You feel about that affected now as you walk gentle stream here, looking down in it. You see indication of shoulder, cloak, wild hair. It's you, it's your reflection. Shadows are growing longer here in this part of the forest. Night always creeps up in the forest, fast on its feet. Stream bubbles and the reflection is disrupted. You're aware that you're walking next to yourself, shoulder to shoulder, like two people sharing a narrow path, treacherous path. The water's a little louder. The stream here's a little more insistent. What do you say to yourself?
Wait. Have you fucking been here before? This is, I'm out of my depth.
Always been here. You were here before, too. Together, as it were. Go. Fort Bramble Oak. Is where you fell back to lick your wounds. Been here before. We should get moving.
I don't. Oh. I don't have any fucking wounds. But, we should get moving.
But
You say?
can you swim? Can you run?
Huh.
I think not.
Right.
The stream appears to have hopped out of its bed. Crept out of its bed and crept right up onto your ankles. As you shake off just enough of the buzz, you realize they probably pulled the sluice gate,
Yeah, fuck this.
and it's night.
Yeah. MT's just gonna run out of there. Fuck it. It's I'm not getting weird anymore.
Not getting any weirder.
He goes right back to like street rat little boy that he is, and it's just like fucking done. I'm gone. I'm done. This is bullshit. I'm out.
The sound of the stream is echoing through the trees and bouncing down from the canopy, so that it's this roiling, boiling cacophony by the time you catch sight of Bramble Oak. And the township is a buzz of activity. And spirits are high, morale is high, and the activity is high. You've made it back. Mirkala is directing and moving, lifting massive logs into place. The palisade walls will be repaired. Shame to cut some of those trees, but
As soon as she thinks she can leave that in the hands of, say, someone like Crodan, she wants to go into the Wolfwood and look for allies of her own.
Oh, well, Crodan takes over the operation. He was trimming up trimming the branches off of the logs to build the palisade wall, and you make your way down. Eldine and Teller are out in the wood. Beaselwood is making sure that sappers can't get in. There's an old barrow under the town. They don't have a sewer system, but they do have a barrow, and he's making sure that it's going to stay intact and that it's not going to be accessible by anyone. Nobody's going to climb up in here and animate anything. So
Teller is on the lookout for any sort of magical underlying anomalies or anything at this place. Anything besides background radiation.
Eldine seems a bit distracted, but Eldine, you also know that you could call for help. You called for help once before and evacuated dozens of refugees to Riverport to start a new life.
We're not there yet.
Okay. It's just
I was young then.
That's
I was young.
MT's gonna
were
be
all
right
young.
back
Yeah.
by Eldine
Yeah.
again. Like,
But
touch your fucking.
Eldine's trigger finger is twitchy. It's itching.
It is a tempting
Mhm.
offer.
Like it's right.
That's
it's
why
a-
he's
it's a-
there.
it's a
Remember?
ripcord.
Do you guys remember when like the first time we went into a public space, and Empty was like, "Well, I'm gonna disappear," and Eldin was like, "No, bitch, like you're
The tea
coming
house.
with me.
The tea house.
If
in
I have to
Riverport.
do this,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. If I have to do this, you're coming with me." And he is right there, in your face, right now,
The
like,
junkie
invoking
saying,
that
I
moment.
think this is a bad idea.
Right.
Don't you fucking do it.
She's conflicted. She's so torn. She's so conflicted and so torn already. But no, it's ain't that bad yet. Ain't that bad yet. We got
And,
this. We
and
got
I would
just a
argue
scratch.
that
Walk
there
it
is.
off. Walk it off. Rub some dirt on it. We're fine.
Yeah, there is a gaping darkness within him that
Yeah,
is
we ain't fitting
perceptible to you in this
We
moment. And
ain't
he's
fitting
like,
to call the law
don't
on
you
this.
fucking
We
do
ain't
it.
fitting to call the police into this. No, sir. No. We can handle this
There's
amongst
no
our own
call for the
selves.
Poe. This is a little local gusto.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Let's
she
see
ain't
where this fucking
ain't-
goes.
she ain't trying to, like, yeah, could do, but oh, don't want to. Don't want to.
Don't want to what, dear? What was it? Oh, my bad. That's a A and B conversation. I'll just see my way out of it. At some point, Teller has wandered into the woods, and there's a deliberate placement of several rather large stones, end table size stones. And you found one overgrown with moss. You found one split twain with a tree that grew up through it. You found another, a tree laying on its side next to it, and another. You realize these are the markers that depict an older grove that has overgrown. But the stones have no magic to them, but they encircle a standing stone that you might have overlooked entirely for the small copse of woods that surrounds it. There it is. And you're not alone.
Detect magic.
Yes. The menhir is radiating enchantment magic and a pooling undercurrent of necromancy.
Oh, that looks familiar.
Yeah. Trying something in here also, which I never get to use. So I'm super excited. It's not channel divinity. Blah blah blah. I have so many abilities.
Well, you know.
Eyes of the Grave. Eyes of the Grave.
What does that let you do?
So I can see the presence of the undead, whose existence is an insult to the natural cycle of life. As an action, I can open my awareness to magically detect undead. Until the end of my turn, it's 60 feet.
There are no undead in this old grove where you are spying on Teller. And that's okay.
Yeah,
you spy on your friends.
I honestly
It's how you
love, that
it's-
Empty Pockets is just like keeping tabs on everybody's like, these people are losing their fucking minds.
And I think we told this out of order.
Really are, though.
I think we
Yeah.
told this out of order. What it is
Yeah,
Empty goes
that's
around and
true.
checks on everybody and then wanders off high and then has to outrun a flood.
Yes.
That's what's really happening. But Sylphane will cause you to disassociate the temporal stream as well. So we're experiencing it as Empty
Nice.
experienced it
Nice.
backwards.
I'm not sure who I am.
That's what we got going on here. And there are no undead, but there is a latent pool of potentiality. And Teller, you're aware you're not alone as someone steps out from behind the standing stone. And it's someone you met earlier. And she says, I knew you would come. Her silver eye and her green eye greeting you.
I knew I
Dahlia.
liked her.
I think I have a message for you. I don't. I am a vessel for the message. She reaches out her hand and places it on the stone. And her head snaps back, her eyes roll back, and a voice comes out of her that is not Dahlia anymore. And it says, "You, my child, will serve the queen, sitting
I
at
shoot.
her left hand." You shoot her?
Yeah.
Make an attack roll.
Jesus Christ. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Not a joke. Not a joke.
Empty pockets.
Oh, for the-
Like,
What the fuck are you doing? I'm staying unmuted for this. This is my scene. You can still have it though. Take over, sir.
Make the roll.
Oh no, I don't want to steal your scene.
No, you have
If-
this is shifted.
actually,
this
okay.
was a conversation and is now different than that.
What is Teller? No. What is Teller's reaction to this?
To what?
'Cause that
You
will-
putting an arrow in
that-
Dahlia's chest?
Yeah, it hasn't even happened
Yeah.
yet.
No. What is how does Teller look in this situation?
So we'll say that
'Cause-
Empty's knocking an arrow, but not firing yet to see what Teller
Yeah.
does.
I want to do it so bad, but what is Teller doing? Like, what is Teller's reaction to this situation?
To Dahlia acting as a medium?
Arthur?
Calm and collected.
Really?
Mm-hmm. As soon as that comes out, you will act as you will sit at the queen's right hand. You will serve the queen and sit at her right hand.
And that was not
Teller.
the hand that was said.
Which makes sense to me
At her left hand.
as a
at her left
person,
hand.
but not.
The sinister side. Yeah. Teller
If he's that calm
takes
and
that
collected.
takes that
he's
as a
just-
greeting
Oh, too bad.
and bows deeply and says, "Greetings, grandmother. Long have I awaited this meeting."
Grandmother is still displeased with you. I am
Oh.
auntie. You would not eat at her
Ah.
table. Always taste of what she offers.
I already served the nation of Calyria ever since Riverport.
She will not stay the queen. A new queen approaches. I'm sorry. And she runs off scared. Dahlia has returned to her body and runs right past Empty. You can take the shot now if you like.
No, I'm gonna. Empty is gonna do a completely different thing. You said she runs right past Empty.
Yeah, within
Empty's
10
gonna
feet.
grab her like by, the scruff. Be like, what the fuck was that?
Sometimes they speak through me. Who are you?
Who speaks through you? I mean, people speak through me all the time, so it's a little bit hypocritical of me. But what the fuck was that?
And she dematerializes and reappears about 30 feet away
Yeah, that's not right.
and runs off towards
she's
town.
a pale elf, my friend. Pale elf. You might have some kin up in this bitch.
Is
Pause.
Is she
Pause.
a willing vessel?
just a-
like
Pause.
maybe like an
Was.
insight check sort of situation. Is she like being victimized by this presence that overtakes her, or is she a willing participant in this garbage?
Who knows? That's several conversations and several hundred silver in psychotherapy.
Insight checky that
Sure.
maybe or
Yeah, hit me
something.
with some insight.
It would be insight, right? That makes the most sense.
I like insight. It doesn't get rolled enough.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
She's definitely got the gift of some kind of magic.
The question is like, is she a willing participant, or I just don't know.
She's come here before, and she has been a font before. Willing. It doesn't look like it was any fun, but she doesn't look like she was held against her will.
She's an oracle.
Of sorts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Teller doesn't even react to her. As soon as his auntie disappears. Which one is the grandmother, by the way? Is that Kaya? No. Is that Aura? Magda. Magda is the grandmother. Kaya and Aura are the younger sisters. And I don't know which one this was.
No, there's a
'cause I don't
lot.
know
There's
them.
more hags than just the three
Yep.
that are named, that the lakes are named after.
Ah, okay.
But it's a court
Huh.
of hags that can speak to you. You are, you know, a great hag is your patron, but you upset her, so maybe she sent Auntie to talk to you instead.
No doubt. No doubt. But we are in a place of power. So I may be able to maybe communicate in a way I would not otherwise be able to. Teller rifles through his purse and pulls out a platinum piece.
Ooh.
Stamped in Riverport.
Oh.
A mate to the platinum piece that he initially gave praise to Magda at the old temple altar that was the central booth in Radu's restaurant. This is where Magda and Teller, where Magda first became aware of Teller, or became interested in Teller. And he did that by feeding it was basically an offering box built in. And he fed this platinum piece to it. And he takes a mate to that he's been saving since. And he lays it on top of the obelisk, not obelisk, in here. And speaks. Grandmother, your kingdom is coming apart at the seams. It's clear that many people have a claim on the power of this place, and you are one. You know where I'm heading, and you know what we are capable of. But these people need to live. The hobgoblins are just the first incision in your kingdom by the Lich and the dragon. How much power are you willing to give up?
The coin wiggles on the men here.
You're saying this out loud, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, Teller's giving it a spooky vibrato using his thaumaturgy. Not loud, just vocal effects in order to carry the weight of his words.
Yeah. MT is right in your face. just like right here. The fuck are you doing? Do you fucking know?
Shut up, I'm busy.
Do you fucking know?
What the hell? How did you even find me?
Dude.
Were you just right over there? Was that why that woman vanished and reappeared? What are you doing?
But that's what I do, but let's get the gaming part out of the way. But yeah,
it's too late, man. Look.
Empty is right there, like, what the fuck are you doing? Do you know what this is? I think Empty knows now that Teller has like a tie to a hag.
Yeah, it hasn't been clear
which is
whether or not
something
really
that he is
Teller
going to be like
a warlock. It doesn't. It's not really clear.
Right,
if that's,
right.
Like, because he was
that's
always spellcasty, and a bunch of warlocky stuff came up, but it doesn't necessarily mean he was. But this is very clear evidence now.
Oh,
you're
right. And
talking
your
to
Moon
her,
Punch
and
Repair became your pack weapon, so you don't summon anything out of darkness like Eldine does, right?
Nope, it's not obvious. It's not really
nope.
obvious. Yeah. And most of his interactions with this hag
But
has been like personal. So
mhm. But
yeah.
standing right next to you in this moment after that bitch took off, the Empty is doing that. Everybody sees that.
Dahlia
Teller says
performed a
Empty
service.
Teller
doesn't ever
she
do
did.
anything.
She
He
did.
doesn't ever
Teller
get
says
up in anybody's business. But
Teller
right now
says
he is like,
we paid the coin. Now we gotta listen to the whole song.
The coin slides off the menhir and rolls to stop at your feet. Tails.
Oh, burn. Did you see what she did? Burn.
Could have been the wind. It does seem to be gusty.
When you're dealing with hags, it's oftentimes heads I win, tails you lose. What are you gonna do?
Not make deals with hags, but that's just me.
Yep. Yep. Teller picks it back up
Hey,
and gives it a nice
Day late,
sparkly
dollar short
flick,
for that.
grabs it, and then says, she's not helping anyway. I pissed her off. You're familiar with doing that to people, he says, putting his arm around empty pockets. Come on, let's get the fuck out of here.
sure, you're fucked.
Don't know what you're talking about, mate, but I got a pumpkin stew that's gonna blow your mind when we get back to Bramble Oak.
So,
It's uncharacteristically, Empty is not okay with any of this. Like, he is dead serious about it.
and then he
Like, you
wanders
do
off.
that, you put your arm around him and you joke, and he's like, no, you're fucking fucked. You gotta stop this.
Don't
You
take
gotta deal with it now.
don't take any more levels.
That's what I was trying to do, was deal with it, make deals, but no, not
I don't
happening.
care about mechanics. Just role playing. He knows what this
That was
means,
a
and
fun
he's,
scene. Thanks. Yeah.
I thought you were
he
going to
knows it's not
kill
okay.
a child.
Yeah. Who was voicing a hag, a
quite.
lesser hag, yeah.
Not quite.
I mean, just possessed, but you know.
Mm.
Really, I just want her brandy nog recipe, but she won't fucking talk to me anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, you want the recipe for the single malt that she makes, the Hagenmore.
Oh my god, we haven't had any like
Nice.
character drama actually until just now. Really, a little bit.
So in a huff and a puff and a smoke yourself away, Empty goes on his Sylphane bender, and
Which is a perfect transition in why Empty would then go get fucking. He was like, everybody's losing it.
He doesn't. He doesn't
Yeah.
follow Merkala as well, just to see what that's all about.
Merkala stayed
I
in
think he
town
does.
doing manual
I think
labor,
he absolutely. I think he absolutely does.
and then goes
Like,
off to call.
Fuck that.
Well,
I think he stops. I think he stops smoking it. He doesn't want. He kind of knows that, like, if Nilo takes over, like, it would be the worst right now.
It's gonna be a lot of death. There's gonna be a lot of death.
so you can't follow everybody. I'm going to say Merkala escaped your scrutiny.
Oh no, it's all good.
Or has she escaped your scrutiny, or have you regaled yourself with depravity? Now we all see. Religion's just synthetic frippery. Sorry, it was too easy to just go right to bad religion from everything.
Absolutely.
In our expanding global cultural efficiency. Good
That
times.
sounds like Bad Religion crossed with Rodgers and Hammerstein when you were singing it in that fashion right there. Yeah, punk rock music.
I would like to
Get
remind
after it, y'all.
everybody watching, everybody here, it was theater kids that got me into D&D. Those roots were sunk deep.
Runs deep.
Yep.
Ah, Merkala, you go into the woods and a lot of the prey have moved on. The wargs in the area have made them uncomfortable. But not everybody's moved on. Some people are more curious about these large, smelly creatures that resemble wolves, but only vaguely.
First thing Merkala does when she gets out of she actually looks behind her to see if she's being followed, first of all. If she isn't, she removes her gauntlet and takes her longsword and she cuts her hand real deep, like to the bone deep, so that she leaves a trail of blood on purpose.
Make a I was gonna say make a animal handling check at advantage. As you walk around leading a blood trail of a curious blood indeed.
And I'm actually so my plan is to cast Speak with Animal on myself, then use my thaumaturgy to call out to all the beasts in the primal language of beasts, great and small. I mean, yeah, I'll do that animal handling
God,
for
that
sure.
is a power move. I like this.
Mm-hmm.
Now the forest is disrupted and agitated and concerned.
And they weren't very nice to me the last time I tried talking to them.
Right. Which is why I'm saying make
Well,
an
they've
animal
also
friendship
been
at
they've been
advantage.
poisoned.
Or an animal
They've been
handling.
poisoned by the presence of a malignant dragon. So
In the dice tower, Tom?
No, you can roll it open. I'll tell you need a 15.
Ooh.
I know. It's that advantage though. And you did it.
18. Yeah, she calls all the beasts great and small. She tries to speak to them in terms that animals would understand, but if they care for their homeland anyway at all, then they need to band together to harry and harass these interlopers at every turn.
Your first contact is with some buzzards who have followed behind and are picking at the blood-soaked soil. And they speak to you. War is coming. Many corpses to feast upon. We are glad to sup with you this night. Dark One. Wolf Clan serves you as well, Mother. So you have some dire buzzards and a rather sizable pack of wolves. And by rather sizable, I mean 18.
Okay.
God damn, Mirkala's just a queen without a kingdom. This is like some top tier shit.
So
Calling
in
out.
that
Good
case,
Lord.
hold on one second. I don't. Is Speak with Animals one of the ones that's not concentration, right?
I'm not worried about
No,
that
it
right
lasts
now.
10 minutes. I am going to first things first. I cast Beast Sense and I approach one of the dire buzzards and I offer it my bloodied hand.
It's about the size of a cassowary.
Awesome. For the duration, I will be able to see through its eyes and hear what it hears. Now I'm gonna get a better look at the goblin camp.
There you go. Oh, that's fantastic.
Good. So good.
All right. I think this is a good place to stop for the night with the narrative, because next week we can deliver on all the things you've put in motion and have you make the dice rolls to back them up. And hopefully be rejoined by
Solid.
our buddy the wizard. Bramble Oak also has a stand of oaks that are home to a few clans of pixies. So I do like that the queen summoned them away. I like that we got some prophecy. I like that we got some drama, some tension. What did y'all like? Let's go around. We'll start the same way we did last time. We'll start with Sandy, if you don't mind. Tell us what you. We're not going to do highs and lows, but tell us what you like tonight and what you're looking forward to for next session, if you wouldn't mind. I'm going to say some thanks in the chat.
Yeah, God, it was a lot. It's a very, very densely packed session. What did I like in the session? Yeah. I'm having a hard time, y'all. No, I suppose I like the opportunity to continue to turn away from my dark sugar daddy. Tempting as it is. For now, we're not that hard up. We might be, but I don't have to call that sugar daddy. I don't have to cash that in just yet. Yeah. And yeah, excited to see how all this unfolds next session. It's a lot. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like I was brain dead coming into this session. Words escape me. I apologize.
Me too.
You feel free to,
Me
you
too.
feel free to pass, and if you have something else to say after, you're welcome to come back in. Yeah, pass it on.
Absolutely.
And with that, I'm gonna kick it over to Arthur. Tell her what you
Word
got.
up. I really liked I feel like we did really balanced collaborative storytelling today. Like everybody had input, everybody had scenes, everybody had like we crafted this well together. It was fantastic. I really like that we are able to use the elements of the story that's been building the Bloodsong Knights and everybody like the Warlock's backstories and Empty Pockets phasing between realities and Mirkala's ability just to like really be like I've said it before, Mirkala's the real hero in this party. Everybody else has
The
great
only
like,
one.
but she's the one.
Yeah.
Are you
We're all
kidding me?
supporting
Like,
characters, one way or another.
Forrest
Oh, for
rallied
sure.
to me. Are you joking? Amazing. Yeah, this is fantastic.
I want to hear
yes.
some Bela Lugosi next week when the children of the night come
Bela
to make you
Lugosi
beautiful
dead.
music. Or Bauhaus, absolutely.
So good.
Sorry.
So good. I like how it's all coming together. I really enjoyed Teller getting that scene with the hags. Like he really is like the boy child of the coven of hags, and he's problematic. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
like, nah, he's skilled in all of this women's work or whatever.
He
Like that's what
brings
he does.
brings his friends to private meetings.
Exactly.
At least from their point of view,
Exactly.
you did.
Right. Well, it wasn't on purpose, you know. That guy, he's slippery. He just gets in and out of things.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Were those excuses? Grandma's not listening.
Explanations. No, she's really not. She's really not. So,
Yeah, dark sugar
great
daddy
session.
can't be silenced, but grandma can't show up.
Can't even be there. She's like, I'm done with
Both
you.
are forms of emotional blackmail.
It is young men such as you who make those of us with the future of the nation despair, said his grandmother to him.
You will serve
Anyway,
at the
shout
left
out Jeeves
hand
and
of the
Woofton.
new queen.
Yeah, and that's so curious. It's like when Teller
new
sees
threat.
Eldine, when he sees Eldine, is he like, is that the throne she's supposed to sit on? And he sees Mirkala, and he's like, or is that the throne she's supposed to sit on? Yeah.
And then you
These
see a
fucking
throne made out of
these fucking
cellophane,
Benny-
and you realize Empty sits on a throne of lies.
Yeah, it fades away,
Not quite. Not quite.
So that you're not last, Empty Pockets. What was your favorite of the evening? What did you like?
I think my favorite thing is that like the patrons are coming to bear, like the consequences of being a warlock, like are coming to bear for both of y'all, and like that's such a good story beat, you know. And I jumped in there because I'm gonna roleplay the character that I'm playing, but like that's the coolest thing ever. That's why warlocks are awesome.
Yeah.
They come built
Right, no,
with
it's Chekhov's curse, right? Like if you
Right.
show
Yeah,
up with a
right,
warlock,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
some
It's
bullshit
Chekhov's
coming up in
Eldritch
the third
Blast
act.
is what
Yeah.
it is.
Yes,
Eldritch
Chekhov's Eldritch Blast. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's up there on the
Comes
mantle.
due. It
Uh,
comes due.
That D10 cantrip better fire by the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, that's gotta be my favorite thing. Like that, like for both of y'all, it's
Well, yeah, and we're in such a good opportunity too. Like things are so unstable. This lich is
oh
out of
god,
control. This lich is out of control, right?
With the dragon
Both
friend.
both of
Friend.
our patrons have such clear goals, and they're
Oh yeah,
not necessarily the same goal. Like they might be, it's hard to say from the details given, but it might also be entirely possible to pit those things against each other. Which
Sooner or
would,
later, I feel like
you know
that's
what I'm
likely.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
so we about the people here. We about the people. We not about the power. Sometimes you need to get one to get the other.
However, the power is all up in this. So
I
yeah.
specifically said she said you will serve at the left hand of the queen, and Teller specifically said, I have served the nation of Calyria since Riverport. That's not the queen. That ain't the queen. Yeah.
Nope.
No, that's not the queen that they referred to.
Yeah.
But
Nope.
awesome. Everyone starts next session with double inspiration. 'Cause-
Nice.
And that's
No,
not to
that's
discourage
awesome.
you from spending or
Yeah,
using
Nick.
it.
No,
Oh, I'm
Nick,
not. I'm
you're
not
up.
done. I'm
Oh, okay.
We're not done. But
Okay.
I'm just saying. So far, I want to reward what I've seen so far before I forget.
Long rest would also be good.
You get the inspiration.
One of them sitting around.
Wait,
Can I
like
burn inspiration for a
Wait,
long
take a
rest?
nap and have a
Yeah.
Can I
bear.
burn two
Remind the
inspiration
DM
for
that
a
long rest exists.
Mm.
Oh, there's a bar. There's a bear right there.
Tell you what,
Um,
next time
he
I
knows.
get 8 hours
Go to the
uninterrupted
pub.
sleep, you get 8 hours. All right?
Right. He's aware. He's
We're
aware,
dead.
but he's
Fair.
rolling D4.
So good.
It's
Never
one
gonna happen.
D4 encounters before they might find a nap.
All right. How about you, Nick?
I really enjoy the way you let us just get all up in your world. Obviously, like my brain's already thinking like, well, I'm sure Bramble Oak's, much larger than like what these 100 people who normally live here need. Like, I don't know, a fortress in the woods seems like a place for mercenaries to take, or I mean, already wheels are turning, almost like we're playing like, second edition where, warriors get followers in strongholds, right? Or something,
Almost like we're playing the turquoise companion rules, where you start
Yeah.
to have strongholds and armies and mass combat.
So
I'm sorry, I'm that old.
I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying that.
You are
I'm
not sorry.
also enjoying seeing the patrons come into play. And of course,
It's so good.
Just
One of
dying
my-
to see how it
Inspiration
all
to the DM.
unfolds.
One of my all-time, I gotta share my inspiration there. Then, since you said that, one of my all-time favorite DMs ever is Papa Kev, and what I watched him put another player through made me realize I will never play a warlock in his games, and I will make it count when someone else does.
Gift
I
to
love
the
that.
DM. Yeah. Same.
I
Yeah.
also love that I'm getting to use some of my ranger abilities, and they just make me look more like a spooky vampire badass. I mean, speak with animals and things like. It's all, you can take the player out
The
of vampire,
fucking
but you can't take the
dire
vampire out of the player.
Show up to be
So-
like,
You
we are
can
ready
take the
to
vampire.
Yeah, I
serve.
like to imagine the
Yeah.
scene ends with Merkala doing her buzzard thing and then passing her hand along to all the wolves so that they can lick her bleeding hand,
Get her sent. Yeah, 100%. with a slight green.
Oh, that
tinge
hasn't
to the
been forgotten.
blood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're having an effect.
But so yeah, I love the way you let us just get all up in your world,
Thank
and
you.
I do love that we are seeing the old school threads coming through the game. It feels cool to like I was shocked when you first said like, oh yeah, you definitely recruit some folks. Your forces are 1,100 or 1,100 strong, and I was like, what?
I mean, that was built
but-
over months.
Yeah.
The months while
It just
our
makes
names
sense.
get out there more and more, right? So I mean,
Oh, my-
players, the PC should have effect on the world, and I think you really do a great job of showing that and involving your world around the players. I mean, that takes a expert DM. I mean, to
Thank
be
you.
honest.
Thank you so much. I hope you like the way episodes 15 through 20, I hope. Play
Oh,
it.
the ones where we die?
I'm glad you're on board. We are.
The ones where some to all of us die.
You won't all die. That's
Can
Maybe
we get
not
a
all at-
scroll
not
of
all at
Revivify
once.
and a diamond at least? Like,
To
just
be fair, probably not me.
just like my
Like,
home
you'll probably
game.
just be like,
I roll the same way when I run this for y'all that I do in my home game. If it's a perception or stealth check that your character shouldn't know because it's a better narrative. If you don't know, I'll roll that for you. Sometimes I'll say, yeah, go ahead, make me a stealth check. Tell me what you get. Make the opposition to it open. Like some of the guards are sniffing around, they'll make their perception checks in the open because I have my dice tray outside my screen. Once I moved it there, it freed me to. It was a big leap, and I'm glad I did it. Most things I roll in the open, except for those secret things, but I always roll attack rolls, damage, and saving throws of bad guys in the open. If it's something your character would have a way of knowing what the saving throws. Once in a great while, if it's a social scene and it's a charm person, I'll be coy and withhold whether or not they made it. Have you try to feel that out? Sometimes it just comes out through roleplay. But that's why we use the dice tower for the audience to see, and why I roll, why we have the dice visible. So that being said, I don't know exactly how this ends. I know what happens step by step towards the end. You definitely have a hand in influence, and you have the whole time. Everyone owns half the map. I don't just say it; I mean it. And glad to be a shareholder in this adventure. Thank you, everybody. Check us out next week. We're going to be playing this again next Saturday night. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. The Ark returns. Playing some Pathfinder 2e. Brutal campaign. Someday my character in that campaign will look cool, I promise. Check us out December 16th. We're going to have the Heathen Cantina Holiday Special. We're going to play some Star Wars 5th Edition. I'm going to be running for the Ark crew. Some of them haven't played Star Wars with me. I've run a lot of Star Wars, D20 and otherwise. Very cool.
That's awesome. When is that one happening?
That's December 16th. It'll be a Saturday night, and
Fantastic.
It will
I'll be tuning into that.
One to check out. Absolutely. We're going to have something else happening next year, but we're not
Yeah.
quite ready to
the
release
chat,
the details
the chat
there.
is going to be fun on that one.
Oh my goodness,
Okay.
the chat is going to be
That's gonna be
it's
blown
going to
up.
be a holiday special, so there will be
The Heathen Cantina is fun, y'all, out there in the chat, in the audience. Come see us.
For
Come
reals.
say hello. We're good out here.
Thank you everybody for joining us. Check out the tools we use. Try them out yourself. Smiteworks that makes Fantasy Grounds. Unity, that's what we use as our virtual tabletop. It's one that we love. It's quirky, but it delivers the goods, and it's easy to use, and it's easy to integrate into streams. Really digging that aspect of it. Thank you to Hexographer, whose maps you got to see tonight. It's one of the oldest tools I've been using. It's free. Hexographer, look it up. It's there. Use it. Old school hex maps. I did telegraph a little bit of how old school this would be just by using hex maps, because that's what I grew up with back in the dark ages, the 80s. And thank you to Sirenscape. Please check them out if you want your sound to be pro sound. It increases the immersion of your game. And like Fight Club, you decide your level of involvement. You can drop a link. People control their own volume. You can stream with it. We've been doing so. Hope you've enjoyed tonight, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you, everyone.